Yes, in Jesus' name. Chapter 3. Mika, get away from the window. I'm videoing, Mom. Tori sighed. Well, what's happening? Tio tried to fight Agent Thomas, and he laid him out and put him in cuffs. Really? They carry cuffs, too? Oh, yeah, they're like a private version of police. And Taylor says they work with the cops all the time, but they're like special forces, like good at everything. And Taylor says you'll never see an out of shape or overweight Ameritech agent. They have super high standards. Tori nodded and then sighed. I don't understand that boy. He's always been so respectful and nice. Mika sighed. No, Mom. He just put on a show for you. He's not nice, and that's why I finally broke up with him. He's getting mean, especially ever since he got in with T-Bone. Tori rubbed her hands over her arms to stop the chill. I didn't know he got in with that piece of trash. Mika glanced at her mother. She was a pretty lady. She was young for a mom. She had a pretty face. She was slim and always dressed modestly. Her hair was natural curly, short only to her ears, and had a slight red tint. She was cute, attractive. And T-Bone thought her mother was hot and tried to get her to go out with him, but her mom knew the kind of man he was and wouldn't give him the time of day, and told him so. And that was when he smacked her. And Mika sighed as she remembered her mother going to work the next day and having to explain the bruise on her face. T-Bone didn't go away, though. He was seeing Ms. Meeks, and lately, Ms. Peavy. He didn't have an apartment in the complex, but he hung out here enough, even after Mr. Keno took him down. Mika smiled at the thought. It had been so awesome to see Mr. Keno easily and quickly kick T-Bone's butt, 'cause T-Bone was a large man and a mean man who thought he ruled everyone. Really, life here in the village apartments had become pretty tense. Everyone walking on eggshells trying to avoid certain people. But Mika had a feeling that now things are going to get cleaned up and it will be safe to take your kids to the playground or walk down the street. Her attention was drawn back to what was happening outside. The police are here, Mika said, and more agents too. Are they arresting Tio? I think so. Well, now I'm feeling kind of bad for him. I mean, he's just a kid who's made mistakes. Mika turned. No, Mom, he's not. He's a criminal. What do you mean? He's dealing, and he's beat people up really bad, and he... What? Nothing, Mom. Well, I had no idea. If you knew those things about him, why did you go with him? Mika sniffed as tears welled in her eyes. She turned her attention to her mother and went to sit next to her. It was a stupid reason. I mean, Teo, he's got clout. Clout? Yeah, you know, he's like real popular in school and more than popular, more like powerful, I guess. It's like he runs the place. So he's so nice to look at, and everyone wanted him. His light skin, his blonde curls. To be his girlfriend was like instant fame. And suddenly everyone wanted to be my friend. But Mom, it wasn't a good feeling. It was like empty, I guess. No one liked me because I'm funny or nice or because I sing good. They liked me because I have power because of Teo. And Teo told me more than once that he liked me because I'm hot. You know? And he can't have no ugly girl hanging on his arm. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry I've been away at work and you've been going through all that. I haven't been here for you. She shrugged. It's okay. I know you're trying to pay the bills. Tori put her arms around her daughter and hugged her. So, Mika, did Teo ever try anything with you? Mika swallowed hard because she didn't want her mother to know what she'd done. She'd told Taylor, but she hadn't told Taylor everything. She was so ashamed. But finding Jesus has made her realize that it doesn't matter what she's done. She can repent and be forgiven. Mika, I don't want to talk about this right now. Did he try stuff with you, Mika? Tori said, again, her voice rising. They were interrupted by a knock on the door, and Tori jumped up and went to answer it. She looked out the peephole and opened the door. Agent Thomas smiled at her. He had 2 police officers with him. "Hello again, Ms. Burton," Agent Thomas said kindly. She nodded. "Agent Thomas, would you like to come in?" He nodded, and the 3 men stepped inside. Mika rose and stood there nervously. "Ms. Burton, were you hurt?" Thomas asked. She shook her head. "Not really. I just scraped my arm a little bit on the sidewalk. I'm okay." "Well, good. Well, these 2 officers from the Huntington Beach Police Department have some questions for you and Tamika." She nodded. "Okay, come in. Have a seat," she said as she pointed to the sofa. "That's okay. We'll stand," one of the officers said. "You're Tamika Burton?" he asked, nodding at Mika. "Yes." "And Mateo PV is your boyfriend?" "He was. I broke up with him, but he wouldn't stop." "He wouldn't stop what?" She glanced nervously at her mother. "He wouldn't leave me alone. He kept saying it's not over." The officer nodded. "And what happened out there tonight?" "He was waiting for me. We came around the building and up the sidewalk, and he was leaning against his car in the parking lot out front there. That Camaro, that's his car. And he came to me and he told me he wanted me to take a drive with him. And I told him no. And he said it would only be a quick drive, and he grabbed me and wouldn't let me go. And my mom tried to make him let me go, and he pushed her down. And that's when Agent Thomas came up and helped us. The officer nodded. "Have you ever been in his car?" "Sure, lots of times." "Well, that's a nice car." She only nodded. "Do you know how he got it?" "He bought it with cash money. I know, 'cause he bragged about it enough." "Does he have a job?" "Not a real one." "What do you mean?" "He's dealing for T-Bone." "How do you know that?" She shrugged. "Everyone knows it. He's the go-to guy for whatever you want." The officers were very aware of that, but they wanted as much information as possible to put together a solid case. This time, T-Bone is going away, along with several others, including Sergeant Curtis Millsap and Lieutenant Jorge Aranda, 2 officers who are worse than the street criminals. They are why the people hate cops. "Tamika, have you ever seen Teo sell drugs?" the officer asked. She glanced at her mother, took a deep sigh. "Yes." "More than once?" "Yes, too many times to count." "Does he sell to kids or adults?" "Both." "Have you ever used any of the drugs?" "No. No, sir, I swear. I don't do that. I never liked what he was doing, and I finally got the nerve to break up with him." The officer nodded. "Did you ever see him hurt anyone?" She nodded. "Lots of times. He beat people up lots of times, if, like, they didn't give him the money they were supposed to bring." "Tamika," the officer said, "did he ever hurt you?" She swallowed and glanced at her mom. She felt her eyes start to moisten, and she sniffed. Well," they waited. "I mean, he never hit me." "What did he do to you?" She couldn't stop the tears from filling her eyes, and she looked at her mom and then at Agent Thomas. "Can I talk to Agent Thomas a minute, like, alone?" The officers nodded because they knew that they could trust an Ameritech agent. "Let's step into the kitchen," Agent Thomas offered. They went in and stood closer together so she could speak quietly. "Mika," he said softly, "I know what he did to you. Taylor told her brother because he wanted to know why you needed protecting, and Eric told me for the same reason." "Well, what am I going to do?" she asked as she cried softly, the tears now running over her cheeks. "I don't want my mom to find out." He nodded. "I understand, but your mom seems to me to be like a really good mom. She loves you, I know, or she wouldn't work so hard to take care of you. It would hurt her to know that you went through something so hard and you felt like you couldn't turn to her." "It's not that. It's that, well, I guess I feel ashamed." "He raped you, Mika. It's not your fault. You have nothing to be ashamed about." Mika shook her head. "No, he raped me because he was used to getting what he wanted from me, so it was my fault too." I understand where you're coming from. I do. And you're right in some ways. If you'd never given yourself to him, then he wouldn't expect it. However, did you tell him no? She sniffed and nodded. I told him no more. I told him I wanted to change my ways and be good and go to church, and he told me if he couldn't have me like he wanted, then I couldn't have him as my boyfriend. And at that time, I still wanted him for a boyfriend and just not sex, so I didn't know what to say. And he asked if he could come to the house and just chill. And then he started kissing me, and then he tried to do more, and I told him no, but he held me down and forced me. See, it's not really like he raped me. Agent Thomas frowned. It's exactly like he raped you. But it was my fault. I shouldn't have let him come to the house. Well, inviting someone into your home to hang out is not a sin. You assumed he would respect your decision. I guarantee you that he intended to get just what he wanted when he asked to come chill. How do you know? Because I'm a man. Trust me. He had every intention of taking you when he got here to your apartment. She nodded, but I don't want my mom to know that I've been, sexually active. What better person to know than the one who loves you unconditionally? She sighed. You said you wanted to change and be good and go to church. It sounds like you found Jesus. She nodded. I feel him so strong, she whispered reverently. Well, he would want you to be honest with your mother. Be brave and accept the consequences of your actions. It really is the only way to get out of this situation. She closed her eyes, making more tears run down her cheeks. He reached over and grabbed a paper towel off the roll and handed it to her. Are you ready to face the music? She wiped her face and nodded. Yes, I can do this. After you, he said, gesturing her forward. I'll be right there with you the whole way. New scene. It is January 10th, 6:30 a.m., Friday morning at the Tanner home, Pine Forest, Georgia. Nolan Sawyer pulled up in his charcoal gray Dodge Ram pickup. Hold on just a second. Nolan Sawyer pulled up in his charcoal gray Dodge Ram pickup. Grabbing the box of supplies, he hurried to the front door. Gabe stood there. He smiled and waved. Morning, Knowles. Need any help? Nope, I got everything I need right here. Gabe held the door for him, and they both headed into the kitchen. Nolan placed the box on the counter and turned to his soon-to-be father-in-law, who was pouring himself a cup of coffee. Good morning, sir. Keegan smiled. Yes, it is. Do you have everything you need? He nodded. I think I do. Do you need any help? He shook his head. Well, if you help me, then I can't say that I cooked you breakfast. Know what I mean? If you help me, then I can't say I cooked you breakfast to Heather. Know what I mean? I do indeed. Nolan washed his hands. But you did preheat the oven for me, so thanks for that. He pulled out a pan and started laying thick-cut slices of bacon on it. Oh, wow, Gabe said. I love that thick kind of bacon. Nolan smiled. Well, I'm making enough for everyone. What else are you making? Gabe asked. Well, Heather's favorite breakfast is banana, raisin, and brown sugar oatmeal, and bacon, and strawberries and blueberries with whipped cream. Gabe frowned. I'm pretty sure her absolute favorite is scrambled cheese eggs and raisin toast. Nolan frowned. Really? Absolutely, Gabe assured him. Oh, well, Mr. Tanner, may I borrow some eggs? You may, but he's messing with you, Nolan. That's what he just told me he wanted for breakfast, and he's trying to get you to make it for him. Oh, thanks a lot, Dad. Make your own breakfast. You need practice. Gabe nodded. You're right. Keegan sat and chatted with Nolan while the younger man worked on starting a pot of oatmeal. So now that you've been staying at your new home, what have you decided is the first thing you need to do? Keegan asked. Well, I've already hired a plumber to install new toilets and bathroom sinks and a shower head. Heather found a kitchen design she likes, and we found a contractor to install the new kitchen, but that won't happen for a few weeks. I personally have been retesting the water and soil samples on the property and started demolishing the old barn because it's a hazard. Keegan nodded. You know, I built this house. Yes, sir, I know. So what I'm trying to say is I can help you if you'd like. Oh, I thought about that, but I know how busy you are, and I didn't want to burden you with it. Burden me? Wow. Well, you're marrying my daughter, and that makes you my son-in-law, and I would be more than happy to help you and to even teach you how to rebuild that home or parts of that home if you want to learn. If you'd rather not learn, that's okay too. It's not for everyone. Either way, Nolan, we're family now, and you can ask me anything. Come to me with anything, any problem, and I'll help you figure it out. Gabe smiled. Nolan nodded. Mr. Tanner, thank you. Really. I guess I'm used to trying to handle things on my own because my father has been pretty much inaccessible my whole life. I was told to figure things out on my own. The problem was, when I did that, he told me I was doing it all wrong. Keegan nodded. Are we talking about how he runs the ranch? Well, yes, sir. Well, that's one of the big things. The Cattlemen's Association up there, they all were really attentive to Heather and the things that she was teaching. There was always there are ways to do things that are humane, and she was very convincing in what she was teaching. And the men at first weren't interested, but Heather was persistent, and she didn't come across as mannish or like she thought she was as big and strong as the men who run those ranches up there. She was just the opposite, and with her steady but gentle ways, she won almost all of those men over. Keegan smiled. Well, I'm glad to know she held on to her feminine side. Well, that side of her, along with her exceptional beauty, was what kept their interest. At first, I think she was just eye candy, but one by one, she won their respect, all but my father and one or two others. Well, being a veterinarian, of course, I love animals, and I get that God put them here to be used by humankind, but there is a way, an honorable way to do things. And Heather understood that. She knew that. Her love and her heart was into everything she did and said, and everything she did and said. And that was what she tried to teach. And I fell for her so hard. She's been the best thing that ever happened to me. And I am so grateful that she came up there. I am so grateful that she's in my life. Well, she's a good girl, Nolan. And I'm depending on you to take care of her and be respectful of her and allow her to be your partner in all things. Nolan smiled. Oh, you don't have to worry, Mr. Tanner. I will be all of those things. I will try very hard to emulate you. I watch you very carefully because Heather has told me that she wants what you and Mrs. Tanner have. Keegan's lips pressed together to keep his emotions in check. Well, if you do that, then I know my daughter will be very happy. But, Nolan, how we do that is by placing God first in every single thing that we do. Oh, yes, sir, I see that. I see that if God is first and we're trying to emulate his holy ways, then even if we make mistakes, we can always get back to love. And pray together, day and night, Keegan reminded him. We already do, over the phone, and we will when we're living together. We won't stop, I promise you. Gabe sat quietly listening to the conversation, his heart swelling with the love and respect he felt for his father, and comforted that his sister found such a worthy man to marry. The three looked up at footsteps on the stairs. Daisy and Lily smiled as they came into the kitchen. Good morning, guys. Morning, ladies, Keegan answered. Aw, you're cooking Heather breakfast in bed? Nolan smiled. Yep, and I'm almost done. And there's bacon and oatmeal for anyone that wants it. Ooh, thank you, Lily said. What are your plans today, girls? Keegan asked. Lily smiled. Daisy and Brody and I are going to go to my place on Main Street and start getting some ideas on what we want to do. I'm thinking I might want to get a good start on things before the inn starts filling up again for spring at the end of March. Okay, well, I have to work today, so make sure your mom has the help she needs, Keegan reminded. Oh, Violet and I have that covered, Gabe said quickly. Rose has to be at the center until 2, and then she's going to pick up Heather's cake, and we'll all meet at the inn for her party at 5. Keegan nodded. Okay. It sounds like you all have it covered. I'll trust you to take care of things, Gabe. I will. It's my last night here. I'll give it my all. They all got quiet a minute. Gabe looked around. Y'all know I can't stay here forever." "We know," Lily said softly. "We just don't like to think about it." Nolan smiled as he finished placing everything neatly on a tray. He knew the entire Tanner family was having a hard time realizing that their little brother was growing up and leaving the nest, and he couldn't blame them, because he too missed Gabe when he wasn't around. Nolan stood back and looked over the tray. Finally, he pulled a rectangular-shaped box from the larger box he'd carried in, and he placed it on the tray. The box was wrapped in lavender-colored paper and tied with a white bow. "Looks good, Knowles," Gabe said with a nod. "I approve." Nolan nodded. "Well, that's good to know." He sighed. "Okay, well, if I don't see you all again before this evening, have a good day." "You too," they all said. Nolan picked up the tray and headed upstairs. Rose and Violet came out of their room just as he got upstairs, and he nodded and smiled and said, "Shh," before they could make a big deal about the tray of breakfast. They giggled and kissed his cheek. "Good morning," Rose whispered. "So how do you intend to video this little event with your hands full?" He frowned. "Oh, well, I didn't think about that." "Well, what if I video for you, just for the first part, and then you'll have it captured, and then I'll leave you to your privacy?" He nodded. "Good idea. Thanks, Rose." "Well, if she gets to see, then I'm hanging around too," Violet said. Rose smiled and Nolan nodded. "I'll open the door," Violet whispered. She knocked softly. "Come in," Heather said. Violet opened the door and stepped aside, and Nolan stepped through with a tray. Heather smiled sweetly from where she sat on the side of the bed. She quickly scooted back up to sit with her back against the headboard. "Oh, my goodness, Nolan, breakfast in bed. You are too much." Nolan smiled. "Happy birthday, Heather. The first one together as a couple. The first of about 80 more." She smiled. "I don't know about that. Jesus will probably come before all of that." He laughed. "Hopefully. Whichever way it goes down, we'll be together for always. I love you, baby. Happy 25th birthday." "Oh, this is just so awesome. And look, my favorite breakfast of all time. Did you cook this all by yourself?" He chuckled. "Yes, as a matter of fact, I did." Heather smiled up at her sisters. "Hey, Rose. Hey, Violet." Rose shook her head. "Pretend like we're not here, just getting a little video." "Oh, how silly of me. I can't believe I broke the third wall." "I can't either," Rose said sternly. "Well, while that third wall is here, let me do this." He leaned over. Nolan said. He leaned over, cupped Heather's face in his palms, and kissed her. The kiss was very long and very slow, and when they ended it, they looked up to find themselves alone. And Nolan smiled. He sat on the bed. "Let's bless the food, and you can eat before it gets cold." He took her hands and blessed the food and the day and her. He then chatted with her as she enjoyed her breakfast. She complimented his cooking skills. He watched her eat and fell more in love with her than he already was, and it made him wish very much that they were already married. "I had a talk with your father this morning. He's such a good guy." Heather nodded. "He is amazing. I've always been so grateful for him. Once he came into our lives, everything changed. My mom was a widow with 5 children all alone. My father was dead. My grandparents were dead. But Daddy, he brought real security to our lives. He was so strong and so kind and so protective of Mom. I asked him to be my daddy within only a few weeks of knowing him." Nolan chuckled. And did he agree at that time?" "Oh, no. I think my mom fussed at me for saying that. I don't really remember it all, but I think I knew before my mom knew that this man was supposed to be our dad." "Well, I'm grateful for him too, because he raised you to be the most amazing girl in the world, and thank goodness you came up to Tennessee for that job with the Cattlemen's Association." Now, Heather nodded. "Thank goodness. Thank God. Oh, Nolan, I'm so happy." "Well, I'm glad, because I am too." Heather picked up the box on the tray. "Is this for me?" He nodded. "Of course." "May I open it now?" "Of course." She carefully removed the bow and unwrapped the box and opened it. Her eyes opened wide. It was a shiny gold charm bracelet. "Oh, Nolan, this is beautiful." Sorry. He smiled. So it only has 2 charms on it so far. That heart one is for the day you said yes, and this one is for your 25th birthday. Why does it say 1? Because it's the first birthday of yours that we've celebrated together. And by the time we get to 25, you'll be 50. Oh, goodness, don't want to think about that. He laughed. Why not? It will mean 25 years of pure happiness. He took her hand. Anyway, babe, I'll get you a charm for every milestone we pass. One for our wedding day, one for each anniversary and each birthday, one for the births of each of our children, and so on. She smiled. Oh, the births of our children. That sounds so awesome. New scene. It is January 10th, lunchtime, Friday afternoon, at Pine Forest Middle School, Pine Forest, Georgia. Matt Stewart set his lunch bag down on the table and, as usual, placed each item neatly in front of him, including his thermal cup filled with ice-cold raw milk. His friends filled in around him and, as usual, made fun of the elaborate lunch. Today, it was a giant sandwich. The large pieces of bread were an organic brand made with 21 whole grains and seeds, and between those pieces of bread were slices of roast beef with lettuce and tomato. Also included with the lunch were carrot sticks, a banana, quinoa chips, and six giant chocolate oatmeal cookies. They all waited for sorry. They all waited for him to silently bless his food and then hand out cookies to his friends. Thanks, Matt, Paul said. Yes, thanks, a few more guys said, and Paul nodded. Your mom makes great cookies. Well, those were made by Lena and Erilyn. Well, that Lena, she's hot, Paul said. Whatever, Matt said with a laugh. You think every girl is hot. Not everyone, but hey, that new girl, your friend, Hannah, she looks good. Matt nodded. She's a nice girl. Kramer, another boy at the table, nodded. So, did she really get kidnapped and held hostage by some deranged guy? Matt sighed. She didn't get kidnapped. She was with her mom, and the guy was like her mom's boyfriend, and they were living with him. But then he killed her mom, and that's when he started keeping Hannah chained up. That sucks, man. Yeah, she's had a hard time. So, did you hear what Axel did to her? Kramer asked. Matt looked up, concern on his face. What did he do? He locked her in the classroom today. The class was leaving to go to the library, I think it was, and she was the last one, and he closed the door and wouldn't let her out. Matt's heart was beating so hard he felt like he was going to throw up. Well, how did he lock the door? Well, he didn't actually lock it, Paul jumped in. He just held it closed and wouldn't let her open it. Did you see it? Matt asked. No, or I would have helped her. From what I heard, Kramer went on, he wouldn't let her out and she started crying and stuff and begged him to please open the door, and he laughed at her and told her that she should be used to being locked in a room. And then she stopped begging and just sat down beside the door where he couldn't see her and waited. And he finally left, and she finally made it to the library, and that's all I know. Axel is a bully, Paul said. Someone needs to take him out. Matt nodded, and he was thinking that someone was going to be him. He didn't care that Axel was 13. Matt was big for his age. He was 12, but he was about to be 13 on the 20th. Someone needed to stand up for Hannah. He was told he should look out for her and protect her as much as possible. Though he was in the 7th grade and Hannah was in the 8th grade, it made it hard for him to watch over her. He finished his lunch and finished his day. Right before school got out, he asked to use the bathroom and he was granted permission. Matt grabbed his backpack and headed out, but he didn't go to the restroom. He headed to the 8th grade hall, and he waited for the bell to ring, and when Axel came out of his classroom, Matt followed him out of the school. Hey, Axel, Matt called. Axel and a few of his friends turned. Hey, little Stewart kid, how's it? I want to talk to you. He came over to stand in front of Matt. Okay, so talk. Matt shook his head. Not here. Let's go over to the side of the school, by the football field. Why? Because when I punch you in the face, I don't want any teachers to come running to help you out. Axel's friends all laughed, and Axel himself smiled, but he wasn't as amused as everyone else. "What's this all about, little Stuart?" "Walk on over and meet me on the side, and I'll tell you all about it," Matt said as he turned and started walking. And when Axel didn't move, Matt turned back. "Or are you too afraid of me to come?" Axel's eyes narrowed. "I ain't scared of no little Stuart kid." Matt smiled and nodded as he walked backward. "And that would be your first mistake." He turned and headed toward the side of the school. "Fight on the side of the school by the football field," was whispered over and over during the next 5 minutes. Matt got to the place he wanted to be. He dropped his pack, he took off his coat, and started swinging his arms back and forth. He waited, and finally Axel came around the corner with a whole bunch of other kids. Matt felt no fear. He was too mad to feel afraid. His anger burned hot, and he had it in his mind that he was going to demolish this kid. The others gathered around as Axel took off his jacket and faced off against Matt. "So what's this all about, Stuart?" "It's about what you did to Hannah." "Oh, that. You got to be kidding me. I didn't do nothing to her. I mean, not really. It was just a joke." "Well, it wasn't funny, and she's had a hard time, and you're nothing but a bully, and I'm not letting you off. You ever do anything to her again, and I'll do more than just kick your butt. Today, you're going to learn." Axel's face reddened because he looked around at everyone watching. Some of his friends, some other 8th graders, and some 7th graders. "Oh, come on, Stuart. You got to admit, she's fun to play with. No wonder that guy kept her chained up." Matt drew a sharp breath and moved blindingly fast. He spun and kicked Axel on the side of his head, and he went down. The crowd cheered and laughed, making lots of noise. Axel got up. "Oh, you just messed up, kid." Matt nodded. "Come on, then." Axel moved forward and tried to swing at Matt's face, but Matt merely dodged and punched twice, connecting both times with Axel's face, and Axel stumbled back. "What's going on here?" Everyone stilled when they heard the loud voice of Coach Bell. Kids scattered. Half-truth explanations were called out, and finally, Axel and Matt were escorted to the principal's office. Meanwhile, Lena waited with Hannah in the car for Matt to come out of school, and when he never showed up, she got out and asked a teacher about him, and a search commenced, and it didn't take long to find out that Matt was being taken to the principal's office for fighting. Lena immediately took out her phone. "Hey, Bugs," Chaz answered on the 3rd ring. "What's up?" "You need to come to the school." "Is it something about Hannah?" "No, it's Matt. He's been fighting." Chaz sighed. "I'm on my way." "Hannah and I will wait until you get here." "Thanks." New scene. It's still January 10th. It is 4:30 p.m. late Friday afternoon at the Stewart home, Pine Forest, Georgia. The Stewart family and the Apple family sat in the Stewart's den for the discussion that ensued after they'd returned home from the middle school. "So, son," Chaz went on, "I'm not going to punish you because I know you were trying to do the right thing. The only thing I'm going to ask you to do is, if there is another situation like this, talk to me first." "But, Dad, he's a bully. Someone needed to put him down." I actually agree with you," Chaz said, "and I'm proud of how you fought. Still, just talk to me first. At least give me a heads up." Matt nodded. "Yes, sir." John Apple smiled. I'm proud of how well you fought." No, that's not what he said. John Apple smiled. "I'm proud of how you fought as well." "Me too," Charlie said. "Way to go, bro." Matt smiled. Jody and John sat on the love seat with Hannah squeezed in between them. Jody looked down at the young girl. "I get a feeling, Hannah, that you want to say something." Hannah sighed. I just want to say that I'm sorry." "For what?" "I'm sorry Matt got in trouble because of me." "Okay, let's nip that in the bud," John said. "Matt got in trouble because Matt chose to fight at school. It was his choice. He suffers the consequences." Matt nodded. "That's right, Hannah. I knew what I was doing. But still, it was because of me." "No," Jody said quickly. "It was because of what Axel chose to do to you. He, too, suffered the consequences of what he did." Yeah, but he didn't get suspended for fighting, Hannah argued, and Matt did. Well, Matt started it, Charlie reasoned. Lisa sighed. And at least Axel did get suspended for mistreating you, Hannah. Jody nodded. And John? I'm thinking if this kid's a bully and he got suspended over what he did to Hannah, she might be in his crosshairs when he gets back. John nodded in agreement. I think I'll have another word with the principal because this bullying cannot be allowed. Erilyn suddenly got up and went to Hannah. I'm sorry that boy did that to you, Hannah. Please don't be sad. Hannah smiled. Oh, thank you, Erilyn. I'm not sad, really. I'm just worried about Matt, and I wish he didn't get in trouble. And I'm not afraid of Axel. I'm learning martial arts now, too, and maybe next time I'll kick his butt. Jody and Lisa smiled. Charlie answered his phone. Hey, Gabe. Yes, the meeting is almost done. What? Really? Charlie looked up. Hey, guys, this is Gabe. Apparently, a bunch of videos of the fight are going viral because a lot of people put a title on their video that said something like, another fighter from Gabe Tanner's little town in Pine Forest, Georgia. And another title says, Gabe's neighbor kicking butt. And one says, Apple Martial Arts does it again. John smiled. Ooh, good publicity. Charlie smiled. And Gabe says to not forget about Heather's birthday. Oh, we would never forget our little Heather, Lisa said. If we're done here, let's get a move on. The men gave a quick, wise word about fighting and violence being a last resort, and next time the boys think it's necessary, talk to their parents first. They said they weren't angry with Matt, but he could have confronted Axel without starting the fight. Axel may have gotten upset and took the first swing, and then Matt could have finished it, and that would have been better. But the real thing is, they are males and are supposed to protect the females in their lives, and kudos to Matt for taking that obligation seriously. New scene. It is January 11th, 2 a.m., Saturday morning. South Keno Estate, Crystal Cove, California. Ricky's eyes opened at the soft noise he heard. Lifting his arm carefully from around his wife's waist, he rolled away and crept silently from the room. He could see the light on in the kitchen as he moved stealthily down the hall. He stopped when he got to the end of the hallway and could see who made the noise. He smiled. Amari stood precariously on the top of the stepladder that Bree kept tucked next to the refrigerator to help her and Taylor reach the higher shelves. Mari was trying to reach the lid of the industrial-sized glass cookie jar. The jar would be too heavy for him to bring it down, and Ricky was sure his goal was to reach inside and pull out a few of the giant white chocolate macadamia nut cookies. He moved closer. Would you like some milk to go with that? Ricky asked. Amari gasped and started to fall, but Ricky reached out and steadied him. Amari looked down at Ricky with his large brown eyes full of fear, and that really bothered Ricky. Grab me one, too, Ricky said with a smile. Letting out a sigh of relief, Mari grabbed 2 cookies and handed them to Ricky, then climbed down. Mom, Miss Bree, she said I could get a cookie whenever I want one, unless it's time to eat. Ricky nodded. You can call her Mom if you want to, and that's right. You're welcome to get a cookie as long as it's not close to mealtime. Amari jumped down and put the ladder away. Ricky smiled at him. You want some milk? Amari nodded. Yes, sir. Ricky poured 2 glasses of cold raw milk and pointed to the kitchen table. Let's go sit over there. They sat and immediately each took a giant bite of cookie and chased it with the milk. Man, that is good, Ricky said. Did you and Britt help make these? Amari smiled. Yes, sir. Well, you did a great job. So tell me, why are you awake in the middle of the night? Mari frowned. I had a bad dream. I see. You want to tell me about it? He shrugged. Some bad man was trying to get me. A bad man? What did he look like? He looked kind of like Mr. T-Bone. So in the dream, did he hurt you? Nah, he couldn't catch me. I was running from him, and he was way far back 'cause I'm so fast. Ricky nodded. Awesome. Yeah, and then I woke up and I was hungry. Yep, that happens to me a lot, Ricky said. Yeah, me too, Amari said with a smile. Ricky chuckled. So, tell me, son, do you like living here? Amari smiled and nodded. Yes, sir. Even when I ask you to do chores or to say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, or to help your sister or to join us on the beach? He nodded. Yes, sir. I mean, sometimes it's hard to wake up, but once I get awake, I like doing the martial arts on the beach or downstairs too. I like doing it, and I want to be a black belt one day. Ricky nodded. Well, you will be, as long as you keep working at it. What else do you want to do one day? What else? Like, what do you like to do? I don't know. Do you like to play sports? Yes, sir. I think so. Caleb plays football on a team, and he's only a year older than me. And Mika, he's in my class at school. He plays baseball. Not now, but he's going to play again when it gets warm. And I like basketball a lot. Ricky nodded. Would you like to go see a basketball game? A real one? Like on TV? Ricky smiled. Yep. A professional team like the Lakers. Wow. Really? Really. And you can bring a friend if you'd like. Wow. Really? Of course. But it also might be fun to go see some high school or college games too. It's a different vibe. Amari nodded excitedly. Cool, Ricky said. He sighed. So, Maury, is there anything you want to talk about? Anything that's bothering you? Amari shrugged. Are you afraid of anything? Because Ricky had seen fear in Amari's eyes several times lately, and it bothered him. Amari shrugged again. So, what I mean is, well, just answer this question. What would be the scariest thing in the world for you right now? Amari looked down. It's okay, buddy. You can tell me anything. I won't tell anyone. Not even Mom? Which Mom? Oh, Miss Bree? Okay, I won't tell her. Amari sighed. Well, the scariest thing would be if my real mom came back and made us go live with her again. I know that sounds mean, like I'm being mean to my real mom, but she don't love us like you and Miss Bree do, and she don't even like us. Ricky sighed. Okay. So first, it would only be fair for me to tell you that once she gets well, she might feel differently. She might realize that she actually does love you. Maybe, but she don't love God like you do. Ricky nodded in understanding and thought it was great. And thought it was great that young Amari understood the importance of that. Well, maybe you can teach her about God, Ricky suggested. Amari frowned. It sounded like you want us to go back to live with her. Ricky smiled. Let me be completely honest with you, Mari. I want to keep you forever. I'm just trying to be fair to your mother. She might get well. She might feel sorry for how she treated you and Britt. She might want to show you that she can do better. And mostly, Jesus wants us to forgive people who've wronged us. And your mom wronged you. We need to find it in our hearts to forgive her because, well, like, everyone makes mistakes, right? I know I do. Do you? Amari nodded. Yes, sir. So I don't want you to be afraid, though. Your mom is going to spend several years in jail, and by the time she gets out, you're going to be a teenager, and you won't feel so afraid anymore. My job is to prepare you to handle anything, but I'm confused about something. Why don't you want me to tell Bree that you're afraid that your mom will come back? Oh, well, because she's so nice, and she's pregnant, and it would make her worry, and I don't want to make her worry. Ricky's eyes moistened. Amari. That is a very manly thing you just said. It is? Yes, sir. You're only 9 years old and you're trying to protect your mother. Which mother? Ricky smiled. My wife. And from now on, I'm just going to call her your mother because she's going to be for a long time, if not forever. Amari smiled. I like calling her mom. Whenever I do, she smiles. I think it makes her happy. Ricky laughed. It does. Would it make you happy if I call you Dad? I already told you that you can call me that. Yeah, but would it make you happy? Ricky smiled. Yes, it would. I would love to be your father. Amari smiled and nodded. I love that too. Dad, thank you for helping me and Britt. I'm going to try really hard to be like a really good son, like young Eric. Ricky nodded. It's easy to be a good son if you do one thing, and that is to learn about God and do what He wants you to do. Because if you do that, you can't go wrong. Amari nodded, and Ricky yawned. Well, let's head back to bed and see if we can get some sleep. Amari smiled. Yes, sir. He took both his and Ricky's glasses to the sink. Ricky nodded in approval. Come on, I'll walk you to your room and we'll pray together. He put his arm around the boy. Amari couldn't help it. He leaned his head against the man's side, as he loved this man, and he didn't ever want to leave him. And that is the end of chapter 3. Short chapter.